In this video, we're going to show you this Valentine quilt, this little bride and groom. It's really fun for a gift, and you'll see that it's a lot easier than it might look. Now we've Xeroxed our pattern, so we're just gonna piece right on this paper, and you can enlarge this at this point if you wanted this piece to be larger. That'd be fine to do it right here. Now remember, with your paper piecing, all of your fabrics on the unprinted side of your paper pattern. Now we've placed his shirt, number 1 is white, and it's all of this area, number 1. Okay, and it's on this side, it would be right side away if it had a wrong or right side. Now I need to know where to place his little lapel, so I'm going to machine baste on this side with this side up so I can see the lines a little, just where the fold of his lapel is, and it will transfer to this side. Then I've taken the black fabric, the dimensions that are in the pattern, and I've folded it in half, and then on that fold, on this edge, I folded out his lapel, and I've done that to this side so that it's a left and a right side, and I've got that stitching there that will tell me right where that lapel needs to be placed. Now when it folds back, it goes in a little bit. I want to make sure that when I seam this seam, that edge is going to be covered, so it's above, quite a bit above that basting. Okay, now I foundation piece this piece up here, number 3. I didn't have to, but I'm going to do that. And then turned it over and machine basted where her bum goes into the seam and where her back goes into the seam, and that will transfer to this side. And here's her little bum. I've added a little extra stebbing. Watch other videos for how we make these dimensional pieces. And I'm going to put her chest, so her back is going to go up across that, and it's in the corner, so it's below this bottom seam and past the seam there, so that when I add these other pieces, all these raw edges, her back and her waist, are encased. And then I'm going to place her bum on top like this, okay, and pin all that. Then I'm going to take a piece of black big enough to cover this area too, and I'm going to place it right side down so the bulk of the fabric is opposite the area I'm trying to cover. Then I'm going to turn it over and sew that whole seam and trim any extra out of the seam. This will fold back, cover area 2. Her bum will fold back, and then I'll foundation piece this side here that will encase her back. Okay, I got ahead myself a little bit. When I was putting her little bust in, I also put her veil. It was placed this way, and this piece was placed right side down so that the fabric was, bulk of the fabric's opposite the area was going to cover. Then I turned it over and sewed that whole line. When I fold it back, it'll cover this area 4. The veil falls back, her little bum falls down. Now I need to know where his elbow goes, so I turned it over, machine basted right here where 5 meets the seam, and that gives me this location. Now I've pre-made his little elbow. It's going to be placed so that the raw edge is 1/4 inch past that basting. Then I'm going to foundation piece this area 5, which is pink, and 6. Okay, we foundation piece these 2 pieces with the elbow that's going to be tacked back. With the paper side on this side, we cut out the heart. We marked where the heads go and zigzagged the top of the heads on, took the paper out. Then we cut our fabric that's going to go underneath the heart to the dimensions in the pattern. We're going to center this heart right on that fabric. And we're going to use lots of pins to pin that down so it's really secure. Then we're going to cut some bias fabric. Dimensions are in the pattern. We're going to fold it wrong sides together. And then take those raw edges, and those raw edges are placed right along the edge of the heart. Don't stretch the fabric as you sew it. You're going to sew using this edge of the heart as where you mark on your presser foot, where you're following. And make sure it's the same all the way around, the same seam width. I'm going to come to the point of the heart, sew past 1/4 inch, and then it will I will turn it and keep sewing, and then when this is all folds back, and I'll blind stitch, folds back, and the little point folds in like that, and you do the same thing at the point of the heart here. Just make a nice little corner. It kind of shows it a little better in the pattern, and then go around the whole outside of your heart, and then it's going to press back and blind stitch. Then we'll add the hair and the other embellishments. We'll show you what that looks like. Okay, her little skirt is a separate piece that was sewn all the way around, and one layer slit so it could be turned right side out. That's just tacked on top. That curly doll hair is added, seed beads, little blush for the cheeks. Her bouquet is just a length of lace that was sewn end to end, and the middle was gathered in, and some little ribbon flowers added. Her sleeve is just a circle of fabric, and you turn under the edge like a yo-yo, add a little stuffing, and then it's put on its side like this and blind stitched in, and the bouquet hides that she doesn't have an arm. You don't see that. And she just turns out darling. They're just a cute little couple. The whole thing was layered with batting, and then I sewed along the heart. That gave it extra dimension. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this.